Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fireside Chat today. My name is Sandeep Kar, Chief Strategy Officer at Fleet Complete, one of the fastest growing telematics companies in the world. And joining me today is the Chief Technology Officer of Conmet, Beto Dantas. Beto, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sandeep. It's great to be here.
Great. We have been advised to keep the Fireside Chat less about fire and more about chat. But here's an issue and a situation I want to discuss with you. I'd like to hear your thoughts around it. A truck, Class 8 long haul truck, is running from Detroit to Chicago, and along the way, somewhere near Kalamazoo, gets a signal that the wheel hub requires replacement. And there's a potential downtime if it's not handled at the right time, the right way. So, driver gets a signal. The fleet manager, let's call him Peter. Peter gets a signal as well. And at Kalamazoo, there's a truck repair shop, Al's Garage. Al's get the signal as well, knowing that this truck may come in. And so Peter picks up the phone and calls the driver and says, "Hey, Mr. Driver, Al's Garage is 20 miles from where you are. He has the part and service ready. Get it fixed." So Al services the truck, gets the part ready beforehand. The truck is serviced on time, and it's on its way to Chicago. Peter is happy, Al is happy, the driver is happy. It's win-win-win for everybody. What we're talking about is a technology called prognostics. And what it can deliver to carriers is reduced downtime. Now, downtime is the biggest enemy of any fleet manager. So in that kind of world, what role do you see companies such as Conmet playing?
The role that I think we play the best there is basically being part of that chain of technology and information exchange. As you know, as a tier one supplier for the commercial vehicles, we are connected not only in the aftermarket, but as well as with our products like the Smart Hub, who can tell you about the health of the hub as well as tires and brakes as part of that system. And that product is 100% dedicated to increasing uptime for our fleets and our customers. And we love to see this world in which we're also part of the connectivity with Al's Garage that talks about part availability in the aftermarket as well through a replace versus rebuild program. So I think a connected world would have all those things, all those strings attached. And maybe near Al's Garage, there's a great coffee shop that the truck driver could go and grab lunch at that point if needed. But I think this is the future of connectivity, right? How do we get all the strings together moving in the same direction?
Excellent. So now we talked about one component in the vehicle, the hub or the smart hub, the wheel end. How will the future look like when all key vehicle systems from bumper to bumper are connected, and smart, which means that every system has a sensor and that sensor connects that system to the outside world? What would that world look like? I mean, we have a lot of fleet managers and carrier execs in the audience today. What can they expect when that becomes a reality?
I think a lot of that influence will come from the connectivity will basically give you better information, right? I think ultimately, when you look at autonomous vehicles, they're going to be necessary to have this level of connectivity just to make it work. But when you see additional connectivity and you have additional data, you have better insights. Those insights will allow you to manage your fleet better. It will allow you to make decisions proactively as opposed to reactively. One of the main issues that we see today with in the fleet world, from an operational standpoint, is this unknown of the example that you said. The truck left Detroit and hit Kalamazoo. What if they didn't address that issue? They could be 20 miles outside of town and they would have an unexpected downtime event, which would impact their timeline, would impact cost. So I think from a connectivity standpoint, we need all these systems connected and speaking to each other, right? I think it's one of the questions that I have for you, Sandeep, is how does the business model of telematics as a service gets impacted by this vehicle system connectivity as it grows?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. In fact, the way I see it, Beto, is the business model is getting transformed as we speak, because in the past, telematics was about where is my truck? Is it at the right place, right time? And telematics will deliver that information. Now while it's all about the truck, but it's also about mobile resources. So who is the mobile resource? The driver is a mobile resource. The truck is a mobile resource. Now it's all about getting that mobile resource where it needs to be on time every time. And in that scheme of things, technologies such as diagnostics and prognostics that reduce downtime, maximize uptime and utilization are the focal points. So companies such as ourselves, we are developing these technologies in partnership with companies such as Conmet and others in ensuring that fleets that leverage our services experience the lowest downtime and can deliver highest predictability of freight mobility. So that's where the business model is getting transformed, where it was in the past more about location. It's now about location plus predictive maintenance and prescriptive maintenance in the future. So that's where we are headed. Which brings me to another question, Beto, is, as a CTO of a tier one, how do you see tier ones working with fleet managers in the future? What kind of partnerships are possible in this construct, and what will be the value that fleet managers can derive in working more closely with tier ones such as yourselves?
I think it's all about knowledge sharing, right, and expertise. I think a tier one like ourselves, we have developed over the years and over decades actually an expertise around knowledge of health and how the product's supposed to operate. And I think other tier ones need to come to the table with the same information. And I think if we're able to create an open platform in which this information is shared across, openly to these fleet managers and carriers, then everybody's going to benefit from that, right? I think it's not just one item working by itself that's going to be sufficiently valuable. I think innovation comes from collaboration, and ultimately, if we're able to collaborate with each other and share openly and bring our expertise to the table, then we're able to listen better to our problems that we're trying to solve at the fleet level or the carrier level, and we're also be able to create products that they want to see, or products that they will operate in a way that is meaningful for them and for the operation of their fleet.
What key opportunities do you see for further industry innovation and advancement that will be enabled by connected technologies in the future? I mean, you spend a lot of time thinking about these things, I guess. So would you want to discuss and share some of your thoughts?
I think we have a lot of opportunities ahead of us. I think the digital transformation of transportation is just the beginning. Right? When you think about the amount of e-commerce going on today and connectivity, how can we increase this level? Like your example that you open up our discussion with is a perfect example of how all these technologies could be talking to each other. These systems could be connected. The ERP system at ALS could be connected to our ERP system, and everything could be scheduled and be more efficient. With all of that comes with this open platform concept. Can you create this open platform in which data is flowing freely between all the different systems with a single goal of increasing uptime or a single goal of creating a task and being completed? And I'm thinking about automation, right? Really automating our systems in a way that Industry 4.0 that you see in a lot of other industries can be applied to transportation and telematics. I think that's very, very possible for us to do, and it's just around the corner. And the more we can connect the systems, the more we can get there faster.
One thing that I like to discuss and get your thoughts around is, so we're talking about predictive and prescriptive analytics here that will enable just-in-time production and delivery of freight. But then there are some other technologies and other value propositions, I would say, rather such as safety and ensuring that the fleets not only use connectivity to reduce TCO, but also to maximize revenue growth opportunities. So, FreightWaves, for example, has a sonar platform that absorbs data from disparate sources and enables freight futures trading and offers great visibility into the future of freight mobility. So do you see a future where data and information from systems such as smart hubs or other vehicle systems are aggregated and anonymized and then used for predicting freight futures and used for enhancing fleet safety and used for generating more loads and revenues for fleets in ways that are not even possible today? I mean, what are your thoughts around that?
I believe so. I believe that the visibility of freight movement is just the beginning of it, right? I think whenever you're able to connect more things and understand future states of the industry, I think it just becomes much better. When you look at the inefficiencies located in any operation, right, that you're trying to address, freight movement is one of the biggest ones. That more information will provide you better analytics of that. So if a fleet can improve its operation, not just avoid downtime or avoid issues, but if you can truly improve scheduling, improve how freight is moved in a way that's significant, let's say by 10%, that's 10% improvement on their overall business. All of that falls to the bottom line. If a fleet is able to deliver products and much faster to the market by going from point A to point B, it just improves their overall profitability and the ability to generate cash, right? Which will give this ability to drive profitability much faster to their company. I think companies who are doing really well in this respect, in e-commerce, is Amazon and Walmart. They're heavily focused on how do I fulfill as quickly as possible these orders that I receive online. And a lot of people think that this is just because they want to make their customers happy. But the reality is they're really talking about efficiency of operations. If you can get to a 12-hour delivery time, it just really improves their operation completely.
So I think one thing that I think both of us can agree on is, you don't start a fleet business to reduce or cut costs. You do that to generate revenues. And so to position telematics and connectivity technologies in a way that it enables greater asset utilization, greater uptime, and greater and access to greater revenue generating opportunities. If all of these are possible, then there will be a market pull as we are experiencing right now in the telematics industry. For the longest time, OEMs and telematics solution providers were pushing telematics to the market. Now the market is pulling it to enable certain business objectives and operating efficiency enhancement goals, that we just discussed. So if that were to happen, then we have a solution where this technology delivers unprecedented value and enhances freight efficiency and also the efficiency of flow of freight and goods. So I think to that future, I think we both our organizations are working towards that, and we hope that all of you had a good time hearing us in this fireside chat. And thank you very much for listening in.